All right, good morning, everybody. Here we go. We're going to do a little bit of strength training here this morning. Welcome to. What day of the week is it? I think we are Thursday. And we're going to have a good workout today. And we're going to just see if we can just try to do some stuff that's around the house. One of the things that's happens for many of us is the fact that we feel very static, lost, kind of not an opportunity to figure out how to maintain a good workout regime, right? Because we have our gyms are closed, or we're just feeling very idle or static when it comes down to it. So we find ourselves trying to figure out how to do stuff at home and make it count. Anyhow, so we're going to go over some of that today, and hopefully this is the first time trying to do this live. So hopefully it's has the impact for you that I'm looking for. Let me just put a bit more light on here. Let's see if we can get a bit more warmth here. All right, that might be a bit too much. Anyhow, let's see. Did anybody join in? No, nobody's joined in yet. That's okay. We shall wait and see. While we're doing that, I'm just gonna fix some lighting because this is all the trial run stuff. Let's see how we do. Sometimes you try to do as much as you can. That is, that's just gonna wash me right out. Hey, who's joined in here? So we got 2 people online. That's great. We're just doing the first time today with regards to seeing how we can do an online workout, do some strength training stuff, and we'll see who stays in here. Okay, well, basically, hey, I'm Adam. Welcome to my early morning workout, and we're going to try to do some body weight movement, as well as using just a few articles around the home that can give you an opportunity to challenge the body a little bit. One of the biggest problems we run into by becoming a bit more sedentary, especially with a lot of stress that's upon us right now, given the circumstances of our world, is stress. Stress is a big factor that leads to many more ailments and a lot more inhibitors to our daily lives and being able to just kind of shut off that stress. So today, what I wanted to do and then try to see if that can pay off for you, and we'll see if we can put this into a daily or 3 or 4 times a week opportunity for all of us. Okay, so first thing is be able to have some things that are around the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some items that maybe you can go and collect and then possibly use, and then we'll begin with the workout. Pardon me, getting choked. Okay, so I'm a dog and a cat or whichever. I'm gonna live I got 9 lives ahead of me. All right, so I just have a little scale here that I brought just to kind of give you an example of some ideas. So things, spaghetti sauce bottles. So if you get one of those as an example, that right there is 2 pounds. So with 2 pounds, you throw a couple of those together in a bag, maybe wrap a face cloth around it so it doesn't clank. Then there's 4 pounds for you. As a matter of fact, in total, it's actually almost 5 pounds. Okay, so there's almost a 5 pound weight. Either water of the larger sizes, or we're going through orange juice and that sort of thing. So if you have one of these, this I happened to weigh earlier, I know for a fact is about 5 pounds. And yes, sure enough, actually it's almost 6 pounds. So here's a chance you can use some filled water bottle. Another thing that matches well to that is vinegar containers, in this case here. Excuse me. So this is probably around 10 pounds as an example. And or you could also use small containers of laundry detergent or bleach. Please make sure the lids are on tight for doing these drills. With regards to other options, if you don't want to be using your kitchen food, is books, paper. You can grab this stuff here, and as an example, just kind of three large books right there. That's £1.50 pounds. If I go put the paper on, the paper is 5 pounds. So there you go. So there's a 5-pound bundle of paper, and you grab a couple of those, and you have yourself a solid 10-pound dumbbell as an example. So when we want to do some overhead work, then we can have, bundles of paper that we can use for that. So obviously holding large items like that can be a little bit difficult. So what you can do, and I'm sure we have tons of these around the house, is you go grab one of your little shopping bags. So you have your shopping bag, you put that inside there, and then that gives you the ability to be able to manage and control the weight as you're moving it. So you can come straight up and back down. Okay, we can use it as curls, right? The movement will have to be very controlled so that way, the bags aren't swinging around, or alternately you can grab the handle a bit tighter, and then we can just do some curls, some shoulder raises, and stuff like that. Now, those I did mention, if you're tuning in because you saw from the ride last night that we were going to do weight bearing workout this morning, then I'm going to move towards that in the very beginning. But these were options, regular things around your house. Now, another option you could use, and hey, this may strike you, but you could use bottles of champagne that you've been saving up, a little bit of bubbly that you have sitting around the house that you could use to celebrate once we're through all of this crazy nonsense. And I obviously use the term nonsense very loosely, because it's not. It's a very serious matter. Probably one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are getting on to doing online workouts and giving you an opportunity to, stay at home. Don't have to go out and, expose yourself or others to a potential cross-contamination. So doing this stuff at home is very valuable, and, it's valuable for you, valuable for the society. So that sort of takes care of that part there. And one of the things to keep in mind with regards to doing this on your own, if you want to come back, watch these videos and use them as a guide to get you through. And I will probably do a little less talking as we do each one, as every time we progress in this. And it'll just basically, I'll have some instructions. We'll get right down to it and have a good workout. So today will probably be a bit shorter as far as what we're going to do. And that's it. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is, now if you have dumbbells and stuff like that around the house, then, I happen to have a weight ball that I use. This is an 8-pounder. I have another one as well that's a 15. If you have dumbbells, then you can bring those and have those available and handy as well. And another nice thing that's good, well, at least in my case, I like using the push-up bars. If you don't have push-up bars, and when we are going to be doing some push-ups, so if you have some issues maybe with your wrists, you might be able to find using, believe it or not, I've done this before, is using your spaghetti bottles, right? It allows you to keep your wrists without having to have them hyperextended, and it allows you to keep them straight on. So when you go down on your wrists, then you are in more of an upright position like so. So you can turn the bottle out and you're resting on the bottle edge and you're keeping your wrists straight. All right, so there's an option for you. So then when you go down and do the push-up, you can come straight up and you can maintain good form. So that's only if you find that you strain a little bit on the wrist area, that you can use that sort of thing from around the house. Okay, so let's do some a little bit of warm up here. And what I want you to do is kind of stand in place. And if you actually, what I'm going to do is just give you a minute, or some vinegar bottles or some laundry detergent bottles, that sort of thing, and have those so that we can use them as a resistance tool as well. So I am going to pause right now, and then you come back, and we'll give you, say, 30 seconds, and I can take a look. I see I got a few people that have joined in, and I'm also on YouTube Live. So if you've subscribed to the channel, you can go over there. The only thing is that for some reason the camera is a little blurry, so I'll have to figure that out, but that'll be next time. So I'm not too concerned about the logistics of all that stuff. So let me wait for you to come back. I'll give you a minute or two, and we'll make this work. Okay, so that's that. So I'll just go on freeze. 30 seconds. $20 seconds. 10 seconds. And we're back. All right. So if you're still with me, I'm thrilled to death that you are. And we're just going to start moving a little bit. Okay. So let's do a little bit of just jumping in the spot. So you're just going to keep the feet about shoulder width apart. You want to just jump a little bit. Oh, if another thing I forgot to mention, my apologies, is I know you're working out inside your house. But if you have a mat, lay the mat around. Okay, let's just move the feet back and forth now. So we're going to go side to side like so. And if you have a mat, bring that to your workout space. And if you have running shoes, just go clean the bottoms off. When you clean the bottoms off, then you can use them in the house and not feel guilty about it. Because it is nice to have some solid support under the foot. I know I see a little nervousness sometimes when I see some workouts and people are in bare feet. Running shoes or athletic shoes are supportive for a reason, and they help give you stability to the arch. Okay, let's do a couple of jumping jacks. So you want the feet to come out. You want to land lightly on the toes. Okay. And good. So all we wanted to do there is get the heart rate up, warm up the body a little bit, get the blood flowing. And then from that, we now can start getting into things. We don't want to go in cold. It's not good on the body. You want to make sure that the heart rate has lifted up a little bit. You want to make sure that you have a little bit of intensity created so that the body's ready for some of your workout. All right, so the first one we're going to go to, a lot of the stuff we're going to do this morning is just basics. All right, so we're going to look at push-ups, sit-ups, arm raises, curls, shoulder raises, that sort of thing. So front raises, presses, and just some basic stuff to allow us to get the body moving. And progressively, I will start to structure the workouts a bit more, partly on your feedback and comments, or just how I see that it would be beneficial to you, not only during our isolation time, but also moving forward, and hoping to keep you as an audience. And this could be an option for you that allows you to work in the comfort of your own home. So that would be a really great thing. Okay, so we're going to go a push-up position. Now, maybe you might want to go for this, because there's two options. There's an alternate modified option that you can use if when just starting out and your upper body strength is not there yet. Okay, so what you can do is we're going to either do the traditional push-up position, or you can do the modified. So I'll describe the modified because I think everybody knows what the standard push-up is. Modified is where you have this, put a nice cushion underneath your knees. Now, the key thing about this when doing modified is keeping the feet crossed. So I'll go on an angle here. So you're going to keep the feet crossed. And with the feet crossed, you're going to pivot on the knees. One thing that happens, I see a lot, is that the benefit of the push-up can come from just your upper body weight as you come down. But if you pivot, so you take the legs, you lift the feet off the ground, and then you lock the knees. So don't allow the legs to drop down. So you lock the knees, and then you pivot down with that. So that gives you a full rotation. So that way you create what's called a cantilever position, where the weight is pivoting off the knee completely. Whereas if you keep the feet back and try to do the same thing, now if you need to, go ahead and do that. Maybe a little less than the upper body weight is required for you at this time. So you can take that option there. Okay. So if you want to just take a second, maybe go run and grab a towel, or maybe you already have it, hopefully. If you have a mat like this, you can just simply fold it a couple of times and give yourself the cushioning that you want on the knees. All right. So as I mentioned, if you find that you want a little bit of support on the wrists, you can use these push-up bars or something like it. As I mentioned earlier, you can just use like a pasta bottle or some other strong bottle, such as a bottle of wine. You can put that there and just turn the wrists out. That'll allow you to not cock the wrist. It's not a bad thing, but for me, just with many years of cycling, I just find that my wrists are a lot more comfortable when they're straight on, and that it is a more ideal position for the wrists when they're straight on. So let's give this a go. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up. If you're going to do traditional, okay, you're going to come up on the toes. You're going to keep the legs together, nice and strong. You're going to plank the body, and you're going to go down either full distance, or you can go down just a partial distance as you just start to build that chest strength, that shoulder strength, and core, of course. So let's go down, and we're going to do 10 of these. So you can either go down just a little bit and then back up. All of this is significant. It will still give you the workout. If you find that going down even halfway and you can't quite get back up, just go to where you can get back up again. Because over the weeks, you'll start to find that you'll start to increase the movement, and you got to go down all the way and just float over top of the ground and then come back up. Okay, here we go. 10 of these, nice and smooth. You want to make sure that you're pushing up nice and solid. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. All right, so come up out of that position. That probably already got you sweating as it did me. All right, so now I have a bit of a glow on. Glow started to move. The heart rate starting to increase a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to work something on the legs. We're going to do some free weight squat. So we're using just strictly body weight. You're going to put the feet shoulder width apart, nice and lined in the shoulders. When you go down, the technique is that you do not want the knees to pass the front of the foot. So it's sitting back into an actual squat. All right. Watch what you're looking for is to make sure that you don't do this. Don't lean past the front of the foot. Okay. Your optimal position is over the ball of the foot or just behind the toe, the front of your foot. And then that will be as if you're just sitting down on a chair. So envision a chair behind you. If you need, grab a chair so you have that just as a little support in case you lose your balance. And then you can just fall back onto the chair and be safe. All right. So do this from a side position so you can see that. So do the first 5 like that, and then we can move into the next 5 as front position so you can see that form. So again, feet shoulder width apart, arms straight out in front of you, or they can just be beside you, but usually it makes for a good counterweight. So you put the arms in front, feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to go down almost to a seated position. Now, the same thing here. You can do a modified, and the modified would be you just go down as far as you can. So maybe some of you have some knee issues, you might have some hip issues, maybe some lower back that you're trying to be attentive to. Then just do a modified or a lower drop. Okay, so feet out front, go down no further than 90 degrees. Okay, we don't want to hyper extend across the front of the knee. So down and here, down here. So that's 2. There's 3. There's 4. and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. As you can see, first off, this is the first time I'm running with this. So the movements are very deliberately slow, and I have a lot of explanation in the middle as we start to get this as a routine, and you get used to sort of what all the body movements are and the technique things that I'm looking for that you should be paying attention to. Then from that, you can we can move this along a little bit quicker, get through the sets, and I can set the sets up in a manner that gives you more consistent workout back to back. We're going to go back to the push-up position. So you're going to get yourself down, get your towel or cushion in place. You can go get a pillow, whatever works for you. And we're going to go back out. Nice solid position. You're going to keep your neck in, your head in line with your neck, nice and straight. Don't cock the neck back like this. That's a very challenging on the upper vertebrae. Okay, C1 through C5. And now here we want to go. So you're going to go again. If you can only go to here, just go to there. If you can go to here, go to there. All right, so 10 more. Feet together, nice and solid. If you're doing modify, remember you're on your knees, crossing, and then pivoting on the knee on that cushioned surface. All right, don't put your knees straight onto a hard surface. That's not very good for them at all. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay, I'm going to go back to the squat position. So you're going to put those cushion aside, squat position. Once again, hands out in front of you is a good cantilever. You're going to make sure the knees stay behind the feet. Feet are one shoulder width apart, or 1.5 width apart from the shoulders. I'm going to go a little wider this time. Creates a little bit more resistance, a little bit more of a challenge. And here we go. We're going to do 10 of these. 1. Don't go any lower than as if you're sitting on a chair. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Okay, so there's some body weight movement there. Okay, let's go to some upper body. So we're going to do some side raises, some curls, some front raises, and then finally tricep. Okay, my little belly is sticking out there. Okay, so we're going to grab whatever you went to go get as some weight that you could use. But let's go on the assumption right now that you don't have anything that is around the house that you can use. So we're going to show you how to use positive resistance as a mechanism to train your muscles to actually work at an intensity that's greater than just the movement itself. So positive contraction is where when you go in the movement, so you'll see my arms relaxed, and if you had a dumbbell and you went to go, or a spaghetti bottle or whatever you had around the house, if you went to go lift that, the contraction doesn't start until around this point here. Kind of this movement to here is not very much. If you were doing an overhead tricep press, then again, same thing. There's not really much happening right here until you come back up, and it's subtle, and then it releases kind of about here. About a third of the movement left or a quarter of the movement left where there's not much happening. So we'll get into how we connect that to when you use free weights after. So positive contraction. How it works is that you're standing in the position. So we're going to do some bicep curls to start. So you're standing in position again, feet shoulder width apart for stability, toes pointing straight, and with the arms by your side, you're going to make a fist. Keep your wrist straight, and then you're going to actually tighten the muscles. So you're going to contract, and then you're going to go through the range of motion. So you're pulling up while that muscle's still contracted. You're going to release. So you're going to try to push down, but it's as if you're trying to pull up. So the muscle stays contracted in a tight position. We're going to go through that and do that 10 times. So again, please be very careful and mindful of the tight contractions. You want to flex the muscle in the bottom position and pull up, keep the muscle flexed, and push down. You're concentrating on the bicep. Okay, that's 2. So now we're going to go 8 more. And down, and up, and keep that muscle contracted in the full range of motion. So you should feel that intensity coming in there. So that's 4. Let's do 5. And again, that happens by the fist staying very clenched. So you can tighten that bicep just like you when you're a kid and you're showing off and you're like, look how big my bicep is. You want that intensity, the whole range of movement. So that was 6. And keep it tight as you release and you're fighting against the drop. 7. Knees are slightly bent. There's 8. There's 9. And down. Last one. Nice and tight. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. And there you go. Release. Okay. Now you can notice there, if I go and flex a little closer, you can see the veins. They do start to pop. So you don't necessarily always need weight. You don't need weight to make that work. You probably feel the tension there. If you had the opportunity to tighten the biceps as tight as you possibly could and kept them tight through the whole range of motion. That's really, really important. All right. So that's positive movement. All right. So where the muscles are engaged throughout the whole range of motion and you're able to do incredible things with that kind of movement. All right. Also known in the world of strength training is isometric. So you're using positive force all the way up and all the way down. Now we're going to go back and do a few more squats again, and you're going to do the exact same thing now. So now you're going to add that contraction. So you want to see, so the legs are loose. You want to tighten them. You want to contract the legs, get the muscles in a very contracted state, in a contracted state, so that when we go through the motion, you're going to feel it as you go down. The legs are tight, 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 tight. And then keeping them tight, you're going to feel the hamstring as well. And come up, come up, come up, come up, come up. And down. Again, don't release. You don't release the muscle. You keep that contraction all the way. Oh, it's starting to get hard now. And you want to do 5. And now, here we go into 6. And into 7. Keep them tight. Keep it tight. 8. And here we go. 2 more. 9. And here we go. Our last one. And keep it tight. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Oh, now you can relax. Whew. I don't know about you, but if you were like me, I definitely winded now. It's harder than it appears. But when you engage that muscle and you're keeping that engagement through the whole range of motion, the body responds in a very positive manner. So try to make sure you utilize that tool and come back to this video, use it again and again as a reference point on how to stay tight in a positive range of motion. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with side raises. Okay, so we're going to lift the arms up. We want to engage in the deltoid area and the shoulder area, and we're going to do the same thing. So you're going to tighten now with the arms by your side. So instead of rotated this way and you're able to engage bicep, you're going to turn this way and you're going to find you're going to engage your tricep. Okay, so tricep major. And you're going to bring that up nice and tight. So if you contract that, so you can just go loose. So we can just do 10 here, shoulder width apart. So we're going to do side raises 10 times. Just work on the range of motion. Good. Looking good. Looking good. 9 and 10. Okay. We're going to do that again now. Take a short moment. If you have some water around, how about you go take a little sip? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do that same thing. So you're going to do positive contraction. So you're going to tighten. You want the arms to stay completely straight. So when you're coming on the rain side, don't be like this. Okay, don't be coming up with a very lazy arm. You want to be nice and straight, almost completely locked out. You're going to keep the shoulders and the triceps very tight, and you're going to lift and then release, all the while keeping that muscle contracted. Knees slightly bent. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep it tight as you drop. And 10. And good. Okay. I have a good sweat going on. You can see the glistening on my hand. It's good. Good glistening. It's nice and wet. Okay, so there's that part. I only wanted to make this workout about 30 minutes. We're into about 32 minutes right now, 33 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up with maybe one abdominal core drill. This is one that everybody knows. It's very simple, but the key thing about it is technique. So it's very, very important, and it's critical for me and all the coaching that I do, that I get across to you folks and to my participants is form technique. I can't stress it enough. If you maintain good form and technique, you'll be able to get years and years and years of body movement training. Okay, there's nothing that will hold you back when you have good technique. You can prevent all kinds of different subtle injuries that happen from having poor form. So I do spend a lot of time on talking about technique, but it is for your benefit. Of the gains from this in the many years to come in your life. Okay, so we're going to do the traditional plank. Now you're thinking, holy shit, plank. It's the first day. Come on, Adam. All right, well, that's okay. There's, again, different ways to handle the plank. So we're going to do modified here. And I know I've been doing it across my mat because for some reason when I was setting this up for the first time, I figured having the mat straight on would be the way I'd be going. But here we're going to turn this. And so modified is, again, on your pads, whatever it is you're going to use for your cushion under your knees. Okay, so you want that cushioning there. And you're going to just roll out. Back a bit. And here's where the three positions of modification are. So you can keep the feet on the ground, walk it out to a plank position. And the key here, this is a modified, where as you can see, the hips are up a bit more in the air. So if you're going to go to a bit more intense, you can lower the hips, and this is where you want to get to. The next is you can raise the knees, and then that allows the weight to go onto the knees 100%, and then you're holding that plank position. You want your elbows to be 90 degrees to your shoulders and holding that position. And then, of course, the advanced position is you're going to move to a legs straight out position. You're going to go on the toes, down on the elbows, and holding nice locked hip. Okay, very straight position in here. So let's hold this for anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds. So counting it out. Contract that core. Make sure that abdominal is pulled in nice and tight. Don't let it just droop down to the floor, even if it is just touching the floor. Just pull it in nice and tight. Okay, there's 15 seconds. We're halfway. Hold that nice and locked straight. Doing the modified position. Go anywhere from straight with weights balanced between the 2 points. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Very good. Okay, folks. Well, that was 30 minutes. It's actually working out to about 35 minutes. I talked about a bunch of stuff in the very beginning. Please go back if you just joined in, or you get this afterwards, but more if you just joined in. Go back to the beginning. see how I talk about some of the articles you can use around your house that allow you to get the workout in that you need. But really, in all aspects, you don't need any of it. I am sweating. I am dripping sweat because of just the tension that I put my body under just with positive muscle contraction. So we're going to go into that more as we do future sessions. And we're going to be talking about how we can use that movement in like ranges of motions. It's about keeping the muscles tight and moving the range of motion. And all of that is working, is putting the body under a positive strain that allows to have a good feedback on your muscles. So we're using body weight and positive muscle contraction to give you the workout that you need. So in essence, we could do all of this without anything. No dumbbells, no, bottles of wine, right? None of that stuff. Don't need any of it. You can just work out with just pure body weight and good form, good technique, and we'll get the body fit. We'll either keep you in shape if you're already in shape, or we can get you in shape. Because I know I've I've been waiting for the outdoor training season to start so I can start working off my my polar bear weight. But it looks like right now we're going to be doing that from in the house. So don't forget, tonight, 6:30, we're going to be doing the indoor cycling. So it's ride or stride. So you can either do it on a treadmill or you can do it on elliptical. Anything to just get you participating with the group and knowing that when you're joining in, there's other people that have joined in as well. And I'll see you then. Okay. Have a great night. Thanks. I said great night, but I meant great day.